I want to talk about the AirPods Max.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Okay, I do actually understand this.
the
So let
hot
me
new
tell you.
accessory that's sweeping the nation. And it's
Let
interesting. I mean, so we were just on Font Talk,
hmm
now on Tech Talk.
Yeah, this
Our
podcast has
fashion podcast is going great so far.
yeah, it has a lot of angles.
Yeah.
Well, this actually happened. I think we were messaging earlier.
Hmm.
So, when I came back to New York after Christmas time in January, I get on the subway and everybody has the AirPod Maxes.
Hmm.
Everybody, like any walk of life. Every time I go on the subway, anytime I go into the city, I see multiple people wearing AirPod Maxes, and these are like $500 headphones.
550 maybe, like somewhere
550.
around there. Yeah.
They're not like Sennheisers. They're not like your audiophile maximum pieces of like
Yeah.
hearing. These are essentially a luxury product by Apple with, a superior build quality and I guess good sound, but it is fundamentally a luxury item
Yeah.
for flexing, kind of. And everybody's flexing on me. And
Which,
it's
I mean,
driving me nuts, dude.
and given that it's a luxury item, that means we're entirely in our element here to talk about it, and therefore the
Yes.
tech talk is warranted. Um, I have to
I
say, I was surprised to hear you say this,
What?
and I know there was a High Snob article about this as well. Like they're really doing well, but it is not hit my neck of the woods. I'm barely a state north of you, right? And
Yes.
uh, up here, it's all North Face jackets all the time. And that's
Well,
pretty much the extent of what I see in my day to day. So I was surprised when you talked about how much these were popping, especially
yeah.
considering the luxury price point.
I mean, I promise you, if you are in Brooklyn, anybody listening, all 100,000 strong,
Hmm.
if you go, like you wake up, go to the subway during rush hour, I promise you, you will see minimum three people on your train with these on. Like anytime I see people going to work or going to do whatever stupid thing they do, people are wearing these. In the
Hmm.
High Snob article, Killian, can you pull up the Instagram post I shared?
Yeah,
I don't know if
absolutely. I'm
that's
on it.
but so High Snobiety, they had like a few Instagram posts where they show people kind of like remixing the look of the AirPod Maxes. And by that, essentially, it's like right now we're showing on screen. It's like a customized version. They made it look like some kind of big alien egg.
Hmm.
It's cool, like that's a cool look that they did. And I just like the fact that we're already seeing stuff like this kind of really signifies to me how much of this is it's a fashion accessory.
It does, and I
It,
noticed I looked these up when you were telling me about them, and they have the color selection on these. It's clearly they're trying to be fashionable. They're
yeah.
picking color profiles that are gonna work with actually with looks that people are actually putting thought into. They're not meant
Yes.
to be just something to throw on and listen to music or whatever. They are to be worn and to be
They're
seen.
they're meant to be seen.
Yeah.
And I mean that is it is quintessential Apple. Like I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I was just so surprised how many people Santa brought a lot of people over $500 headphones, and he sure as hell did not bring those to me. And I'm just seeing, I guess, like my amazement amounts to this. I think
Hmm.
Apple has like this capacity to make items or like accessories or whatever it is, or like even if it's at a high luxury price point,
Yeah.
people will spend the money because it's kind of like a blue sea philosophy thing. It's like there wasn't a market for this. They're
Hmm.
not trying to tap into the audiophile market, who
No.
people who would spend $500. They have a capacity to make a new market of people who will spend over $500 on a pair of headphones because they work so seamlessly with everything else because
You
they're
know
made
what?
out of aluminum.
That's the crazy thing is I did my research for this topic, and I went and I read an audiophile review of
Yeah.
these headphones with like graphs of where the bass is, where the
Like
treble is, all that good stuff. And the weird thing is, it was like, yeah, they're way overpriced. They're about twice as expensive as things with a similar sound profile.
Yeah.
But this reviewer was legitimately quite happy that Apple is normalizing the idea of spending $500 on headphones. They were like, that's actually good for the
Thank
audio
God.
files of the world. That's now
They're like
normal.
woke. Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
woke about making normalize spending a ludicrous amount of money on headphones. And I'm saying this, but like Santa, if you're listening, I would love to get those next year. I want a pair because what am I using right now? I'm using the AirPod Pros.
Pleb.
And yeah, I know.
Mhm.
People sneer at me on the subway now. They like throw shit at me, and it's a huge bummer. But that's my AirPod Max talk. I just thought everybody needed to know about my like how irate I'm getting and how fundamentally I think it is. At least people are pulling them off like it's an accessory. I only see
Yeah.
young, hot people wearing them. I do not see ugly, old people wearing them.
You heard it here first.
Yes.